Hey everybody, welcome back to the studio. Well, I've been trying to do this video for a little bit, but it's been a bit of a pain to get together, and I'll explain why. I want to do a picture of how I do my printing. Now, not going to be anything in depth with adjusting or anything like that. It's just an overview of how I'll make a print and then mount it or just frame it. I haven't even figured out what I'm going to do at that point. And I wanted to do it for quite a while, but I have a policy here in the studio that I will not show online nor do I show to other customers the work that I print for other people. And while I print a lot of stuff for myself here, a lot of times when I'm printing for myself, there's stuff running for other clients. So I can't even show you that happening because in the background will be other clients' prints. And again, my policy is I don't show other people's work to anybody. Likewise, when people come for pickups, the stuff is stored away until that client comes, then I go and get it. And the reason I do this is because many of my clients sell their work, and it's not fair to them that I should show off the work that they're turning around and selling. So that's been my policy for years, and I stick to it. So in this video, I want to show you the process that I use to do prints. Now, some more side notes. I run currently 3 printers here in the studio. I run an older 3880 that's been set up specifically for printing on matte paper. I run a P800 and I run a P7000, and those are all Epson printers. Each printer has a different purpose and does a different job. Like I said before, the 3880 is set up specifically to do matte paper. The P800 does matte and luster or glossy or metallic. And the P7000 only does luster, glossy, metallic, and canvas, and so on and so forth. The reason I don't switch printers back and forth is, one, it's a waste of ink on these printers. They do have newer ones out that doesn't require a waste of ink when you switch from matte to glossy for the Epson lineup. And I'm looking at getting one of those, but there's been some issues with the one that I'm looking at with it handling media properly. So I'm waiting to see if that problem is fixed. And the other reasons that I use them specifically for different papers is for a workflow aspect. I'll have clients that will come in and they get a lot of 5x7s, 4x6s, 8x10s, 8.5x11s, 11x14s that go through the smaller P800 printer. I get other clients that only print on fine art paper and matte paper, and that goes through the 3880. And then I get other clients like I just had now, and actually standing beside the camera is a 24x36, which was printed, laminated, mounted, and then framed. And if I have different machines that do different things, then one, I'm not switching the ink, but two is I can run different jobs on different printers. And I do that a lot. I'll have all 3 printers running full out during the day, getting jobs done, package them, and then before I go home, just put everything that comes in during the day is done, or at least to the point where I'll be finished first thing in the morning. So what do I do for preparing a picture to be sent to the printer? Well, I open it on the computer, which is right beside me. You actually can't see it. It's right here. And this monitor is actually color balanced to all 3 of my printers. I adjust the picture on the monitor to make sure that it is the right colors for what I want or what the client wants if they want me to adjust it. Now, many of the clients that I have ask for no color adjustment, no density adjustment to their images, and I'm quite happy to run it just like that. Other clients want me to do minor adjustments if I notice something is really dark or something is really light. Other clients want me to adjust everything. It depends upon the client themselves. So this image here I'm printing as a gift to a local historical group. I told them I would give them a door prize that they could give out at their next meeting. And so I decided to print this image. Now this is an image that I got years ago from the local museum that is of Lethbridge back in the very early days. I've already gone through and done a number of adjustments to it. So I've fixed the lines at the bottom there. I've done a color balance to it because the black and white just doesn't really seem to match that picture. I've cleaned up some dust and specks up in the sky there, so that's taken care of. And I also did some sharpening to the image. So this image is ready now to go to print. What I see on the screen is exactly what I will see when I am done printing. Now, people often ask, is it 100% after you calibrate your monitor accurate to the printer? No. I have never seen a monitor and a printer 100% color calibrated, density calibrated after running the program itself. And I think the biggest reason for this is how different people see the colors and the brightness and the darkness from the monitor. So what I do is once I do a calibration on the monitor so that I know it's as close as the actual calibration system can get it, I actually tweak it so that it looks identical to my print. So I know that the print that I'm going to get is so close to this screen that it is ridiculous. And my clients love that because that's why they come to me. They want something that's going to be 100% accurate, or if it can't be 100% for whatever reason, because of the paper or because of the image that they've sent to me that may have some blown out areas or whatever, that they know it's going to be as close as it possibly can be. So the next thing that I do is once the image is all done up so that it looks perfect, is I will go in and I will size the image. This one is going to be an 11 by 14. It's 11 by 14 proportions already, so there it is there. I'll take another quick check to see. I don't want to get rid of all of the aging to it. You can see up here around the mouse where there is still some of the aged look to the photo, and it's an old photo, so I want it to look like it's an old photo. I don't want it to look perfect. And that now looks probably as close as it possibly can get. All right, welcome back to the printing room. So this is where all my printers are. Just behind the camera is my P7000. Just over here is the P800. And over that way, which you can't see, is the 3880. And right here beside me is the lamination machine. Behind me is a paper trimmer, another paper mat to trim stuff on, another paper trimmer is down here below, other trimming stuff, and some of my frames here. Now, one of the cool things that I always get told when I'm doing a video back here is, well, that's not a real lab. That's not where people really print. Well, I hate to tell you this, but yes, it is. This has been my lab and my printing room now for 15 years. It does everything. I can do a large quantity of printing in here. It works out perfectly. The only issue that I did find while doing this video is that I'm going to have to take out the stuff that's here and put it into my waiting area so I can show you what I do to trim a print and to put it in a frame, because otherwise all you would do is see my back while I'm doing it. In day-to-day life, not a big deal because I don't have people watching me what I do, but for this video I will move the stuff out and actually do it in the waiting room, the front office area, so that you can see what I'm going to do. So I've got already the paper out. On this job, I'm going to use the Epson Premium Presentation Paper Matte. It is 11 by 17 size paper. It is a matte paper. I'm going to bring out a sheet here. Now, most papers, when you pull them out of the package, the part that is up, when the flap is down like this, is your printing side. On this paper, it's quite easy to tell because the back is actually a little bit yellower than what the front is, so you know that that's the right side to print on. So I came over here to the 3880. This 3880 is an old one. It's been with me for a lot of years. Like I said, I only use it for matte, and it does a wonderful job. Just last week, it did 75 17 by 22 prints for one client, and I think it was 25 17 by 22 prints all on fine art cold press paper for another client. And it works wonderful. So what you do is you put the paper in the printer and you slide it over so that it is holding the paper correctly. That's it. Pretty straightforward. Then we'll go into the front office and we will send the print job back here to this printer. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to send it to my printer. So the first thing I do is go to File. I then go to Print Preview. I then tell it to print. I then find the printer that I'm going to send it to, and this one I'm going to do on a matte paper because I think the matte paper will make the colors just pop perfectly for being an older photograph. It's not as a white of a paper as some of the bleach papers, some of the nuclear white ones. So the more matted surface will actually help this picture to really stand out. I'm going to go in and I'm going to tell it what I want to do, and this I'm going to use matte paper, and there it is right there. I am going to leave it at color. The quality options are set, the color controls are set, the sheet is set, the size needs to be changed. So now I need to go and find the right size of paper. So it's 297 by 420, or it's an A3 size paper. I need to tell it to turn the layout into the right way. And many times I will also tell it to not only go borderless like that, but I'll also tell it to give me a print preview. Now the print preview itself does not match anything. It's not color balanced, it's not color corrected. It looks grainy, it's pretty much horrible. But the reason I like it is because I like to see if the paper that I've selected is going to fit the print that I'm sending to print. And there it is there. It looks perfect, it lays out, it fits on the paper. Everything looks good. So now we will tell it to print. And when I hit print, it will then go to the printer. And it is gone. It is now being sent to the printer to be printed. All right, so the printer is done printing. The print is now off the printer. And there is our print. Now, if you're doing this at home, you should let this dry for 24 hours. But by the magic of video production, we already have another print that has been printed, the exact same one, that has dried. And we're going to move on to our next part of this, where we trim the print, and then we will take the print and put it into the frame. Alrighty, so I moved out here so you can see what I'm going to do, and I'll put my glasses on so I can see what I'm going to do. So here's our print, the one that has dried for 24 hours, so it's off gassed, and now I'm going to trim it. Now, the frame that I have for this is actually an old frame. It's very nice looking. It'll match this picture really well. I'm going to put glass in it because I think that that will also match the look of the picture. So I haven't got a lot of room in the back of it, and that's what I was wondering earlier. So I'm not going to mount this to anything. I'll maybe show you another video where I do some mounting and some laminating of the prints. But this one here, I'm just going to trim. So we have my trimmer guide. We line it up on the edge of the print, and then we simply trim it. And there is our first cut. Line it up for the second cut. Now, because I do so many prints in a day, I also have 2 other cutters that I use. This one's the one I use for anything that's a specific size that doesn't fit in the other trimmers, or that I want to make sure is trimmed correctly. And the other ones I use for more of the bulk work that I do. It is a self-healing mat, so it shouldn't cut. I should also be able to pull it off. There we go. And then my final cut will be right down here. Now for years I didn't have a cutter like this or a guide like this. This one I love because it protects your fingers from the blade. And if you're going to do anything like this, invest in a good cutter guide. All right, so I went and got the frame. The frame is here. I saved you from the part where I cleaned the glass repeatedly. Oops, and I still see another little speck there. And maybe another little speck. But the glass has been fully cleaned. So now, if we've trimmed it to the right size, the picture will fit nicely in the back of the print, or of the frame. We then take the backing board that we have, and we put it in behind the print. Now, if you're doing this at home, if you're doing this for yourself, you can get the little clips that you bang in or that you push in. You can use nails, you can use tacks. Some people will use tape and just run tape around this to hold it in. But I am fortunate and I have myself a gun. So it will actually drive in the points for me. There's one point there. There's one point there. There's one point there. There's one point there. Then one on each side. And I think I'm going to put one more in the middle just to make sure. And if we're fortunate, we have ourselves a finished print. And it is now ready to go to the person that I'm donating it to so they can auction it off. So that is how I do a print when I'm going to put it into a frame with glass. So until next time, have yourself a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Get out there and take some pictures and have a great day. Bye-bye now.